Hello and welcome to the Ventura Rock Spot. I'm Jeff Donovan and I'll be your host. The Ventura Rock Spot is a monthly program featuring original musicians from or traveling through the Ventura area. Come check out the website at VenturaRockSpot.com. You can see all the past episodes or learn how to become a featured artist yourself. And if you're ever wondering what's going on in the music scene around Ventura, be sure to check out VenturaRocks.com for all the most current updated information. All right, well, on tonight's episode, we have with us Tommy Foytek. Thanks for being with us today, Tommy.
Hey, thank you so much, Jeff, for having me. Awesome.
It's a pleasure, brother. So let's get right started. Or started right.
Started right, man.
So you're one of the veterans of the Ventura music scene, but for our viewers who aren't familiar with you or your work, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started and where the journey's taken you?
Oh, wow. Well, gosh, actually, I kind of reminisced earlier about that, how I started in like 91 or 92 with electric shock therapy out of Ventura. It was kind of a heavy band, which turned into Big Daddy Crunch. We played some decent shows at the theater and with the Ska Daddies, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy in the early days. And then that band broke up and turned into Prime Civil, and which kind of turned into some other guys brought together Worm Wagon, which had some great gigs too, and played the theater, of course. And then AGP came out of that, which was my own band where I was writing my own music. And that one had a good run until the 2000 or so, when I ended up, probably the end of the 2000s, I joined like the Kill Junkies and Quiverbone. Gosh, man. After that, I got into Flat Tire, which was my first little trio band with Gary playing some blues and anything I loved. It's like the world. I could play from Irish folk to rock and roll and heavy metal. It didn't matter. And then I joined the Magnificent Bastards for a little run, of course, and Buena Onda more recently, besides my little trio. And I played with Gary Ballin, which is the guy, the Human Jukebox over there at the Harbor. And I had a good run playing with that guy after playing with Finhead, of course, who was another local guy. And these guys just have me play whatever. I find the key, major, minor, just dance with the music. And from those gigs, I ended up hosting the open mic, which has had a 4 or 5 year run now at the Harbor at the Lookout.
Yeah, we'll get to that part in a little bit, but you've been in a lot of bands around town, yeah.
Yeah, time's flown and bands change and things happen.
When did you start? When was the first band? How old were you?
Oh gosh, I was in my 20s when I first performed. I started kind of late. I was 15 when I got my first guitar. Yeah, about 15, and got my first nice guitar at 17, and I played pretty well, fairly fast. I played a tennis racket for years, so I kind of knew what to do when I finally got my guitar, and I was playing little leads and stuff pretty quick. But I wanted to make sure I was ready to play when I played live. So when I jammed with electric shock, I could throw some decent riffs, and I was probably in my early 20s at that point.
Oh, good deal. So on that note, let's take a look at one of your viewers, so our viewers out there can become familiar with some of your work. This is one of your originals called Stray Bullet. All right, that was really nice, Tommy. Tell us a little bit about that song.
Oh my gosh, man. That actually was a co-write with my friend Christian Hickey, who was in Point Conception, a band I didn't bring up, who, we had some management for a minute there in the 90s, and we were in a movie with Ralph Macchio called Can't Be Heaven in probably 99. And we played UCSB for George Stephanopoulos and stuff, and big old parties out there. But that band was pretty good. So anyway, this guy stopped playing for years, and 20 years later, I was able to play these rhythms and sing these songs that we thought the guy was possessed or something. His eyes rolled back in his head, and he'd be playing these songs and strumming the guitar. And it was after my divorce in the shower one day, I just heard the movement of one of the more complex than that one of the songs, and it kind of snapped, and like an epiphany, I was able to sing and play these songs. And that was one of them, was Stray Bullet. It was one of the ones towards the end of that band's life. And it's beautiful to bring that music back. It's rock and roll.
Well, and on that, you're mostly known now as a blues guitarist, blues musician. What caused you to gravitate towards that style?
Well, Albert, I've loved it all for a long time. I'm kind of when I go back to my roots, it was an Angus Young. My mom took me to see For Those About to Rock in '82, and that changed my life, seeing Angus do one-handed riffs instead of like a Jesus moment. Like, whoa, unbelievable. So I've always liked that bluesy feel, Frampton and stuff. He was a little more jazzy, but during the bad part of my marriage there, it was Albert King, man, who got me through it. And his levity of, singing this really sad stuff, but he sang it and he'd go, ha ha, he'd laugh about it and play you a killer blues riff, and his guitar had so much to say. And from that, I was playing as years go passing by from him, and started playing some Albert Collins and things like that, and it's just kind of, it was something that kind of just felt right, at the time. And then later on, more recently, I learned about 5 years ago, Roy Buchanan, who's another known for his blues, but he plays different styles as well. And I heard him doing volume swells and things like that. And it just really changed my life, man, to be able to.
I've commented before on your volume swells because they're so good.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody do swells better than you. So
thank you so much. I appreciate that. That stuff will make me cry, man. The guitar is speaking. It's got something to say.
Right. Your latest project is the Tommy Foytek Band. But it's fairly new. I know you've been in the studio recording and putting down tracks. Tell us a little bit about the new band and about some of the other members.
Oh, man, these guys. I'm so fortunate to have them playing with me, man. Gary Allport's been a local dude for a while. He's the guy and it's amazing that I first played with him maybe 9 years ago at the Flat Tire thing when I first started doing the blues. And I first had a couple, some lyrics that I didn't throw away. And and he's been playing with me all that time, getting these songs down, and I've been trying to get him to be more dynamic and me down. So that guy Gary Allport's known for other bands. He's in No Biggie, and he's been around the block playing with different people around locally. I can't even name them all, but yeah, that guy may be more known than myself in Ventura. But Gary Allport's around playing, and then I ended up with this guy named Hector Pineda, who is a samba and tango bass player, a professional from Argentina who played with 300 artists on 400 album recordings and things. And he's amazing, man. He can, he knows theory so well that he'll tell you, the next note will be one of these options because, he's so good. So the fact he appreciates my stuff is, God, I'm blown away by it. I'm so fortunate. But I'm just complex enough where the guy appreciates me, and then when I turn to loose a solo and I can feel it, he rides it too. And there's moments you'll see on some of the clips where we do it, depending on which ones we're sharing today. But that guy, he's amazing, man. So really, I let him do long bass solos, and the crowd cheers for him more than me. They even come up and compliment. They're all, "That guy's, you're amazing, man." They tell him, and they're like, "Oh, what about me? I'm like chopped liver over here." So yeah, those are the two guys jamming with me, and I decided to try to get a better album last year when I met up with Filiberto Landeros up in Ventura, because we had recorded once before, but we was kind of rushed, and we just didn't get the vibe, the sounds and stuff we wanted. So Philly's trying a little bit harder, and he's into trying to create what we were looking for and adding things there. And we're going to see how it all turns out. But we're really raw, you know, we're a live outfit. So when you work it too much, it kind of, you know, there's just a lot you could paint on this music, of course.
You're also handling the vocal duties in this project. I can see that. That's how I would feel. Have you always been singing in your bands, or is this a new twist for you?
Yeah, this is a new twist, man. I really never could sing and play, and I actually like hid behind my guitar in those early bands because I was kind of shy that way, you know. So the singer's up there singing in front of people, and I'm like, oh man, how embarrassing! Look at this guy. But yeah, now it became a necessity when I was really, you know, shooting to get out there and play, you know, before getting something stable. I'm working at Larrivee Guitars now, and God, that changed things again for him. So, you know, it's different than you know, a really pretty voice. I'm not kicking falsetto or anything, but you know, I try my best.
So we've got another video for our viewers. This one is called Backseat of My Life. Ooh. So let's roll that now. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Indeed. Yes. Okay.
All right, so that one was called Backseat of My Life. Tell us a little bit about that song.
Backseat of My Life, man. That one is what happens when you know a great lyricist and you show him a riff, and he comes back the next day or two and says, dude, I turned that into a song, and he adds a bridge and a chorus and all this stuff, because that was just a little riff I showed the guy. It was my co-writer, Christian Hickey again. And yeah, man, he came back with that whole movement. And that's another one that I played with him, years ago, and I couldn't sing and play it. That just happened, like that epiphany where all of a sudden I was like, man, I can do this now. I'm doing it, and next thing you know, I'm singing Backseat of My Life. And that's a favorite of some of the folks that watch me out there. They like Backseat.
That's great. And so along with playing out yourself and doing all this with various bands and your own band, you also host various open mic nights around town. How did you get into that? What's your favorite aspect about that?
Wow. Well, bringing the passion and love to the place where I've been doing it mostly was the harbor. And, it's rewarding in that way. People are really happy to thank you that you brought some music and love to them, and they, I got in there from playing at the Lookout with Finhead for those years, and then Gary Ballin. I think it was about the time, probably right around when I met Gary Ballin, that I got the opportunity to host the open mic. And from there, it kind of melded to when I started making my band. And so I'd come out and with a little bit of celebrity, a tiny bit, they play, and they say, yeah, and I get to play The Messiah Will Come Again from Roy Buchanan or something, and actually bring somebody to tears with this song. And I was like, whoa, there we go. And so I was just successful enough to keep it going all these years. And it was a testimony to all the people that were coming and playing too, man. We had Lloyd from One More for the Road and other players who would come in and keep it going, and there's been so many of them through the years that it wasn't just a one-man show. It's been all the other people coming and bringing love to the harbor and
nice.
Get the run going, man.
So I always enjoy hearing about the different aspects of the creative process and how it's different for everybody, basically. What's your process for writing a song? Do you just start with the lyrics, or just start with the music, or does it skip around to just whatever pops in your head first and take it from there? How does the process work for you?
Yeah, mine that are just written just by me alone. And there's I got, maybe 15 or 20 of them now that I'm playing with the band. And I want to say that they've been mostly the riff ideas have come to me. And it might have been the mood of the riff or what was in my mind when I came up with it, where the lyrics came from. One of the first ones I wrote that I kept lyrics to, which I think you might play on here possibly, was What You Got Coming. And I had ripped up every time I write lyrics, I would just throw them away because I'm like, this is terrible. I have great rhyme. Look at this killer line. And I throw it away. No good. So I was here with, and my ex-wife was here. It was like towards the end of our marriage somewhere, and she was doing her thing. And I said, look, babe, I got a riff. I need a lyric idea. And she says, I'm so tired, babe. And that was it. I wrote that. I'm so tired, babe. And that got me started where I was able to take off and write the rest of the lyrics. And from that time on, I've kind of just done that. Maybe one line, a key line that gets me going. And yeah, man, just kind of come up with the stuff.
We are getting pretty short on time here. We're going to have to wrap it up pretty quickly. But you have any final comments for the viewers? Anything that you'd like them to know about you or your music or anything at all?
Wow, it's a tough one, bro. Yeah, well, I want everyone out there to enjoy music, enjoy the passion, the love that it brings. And, all my jams are an excuse to play guitar in the end, I suppose. If the guitar's got something to say, it's good. If I'm sitting there and I'm not letting it talk or anything, then probably be a little more bland, but let your music speak, everybody.
Yeah, great. And where can our viewers find you online?
Oh man, so the most stable thing right now is Tommy Foytek Band Facebook page. We have a YouTube. It's been in the works. You type in Tommy Foytek on YouTube, and I pop up from all kinds of clips and things like that. So you can see the Tommy Foytek Band on there too, as well as me just riffing, man, out front or in the garage or something. So I did some pedal clips for guys too, like the Scrady pedals and BJFE out of Sweden, and yeah, so you see some pedal clips, and yeah, tearing it up.
All right, terrific. Well, that's about all the time we have, and thank you so much for participating in the interview, Tommy. It's a pleasure to see you as always.
And you're a beautiful man, my friend. Thank you so much.
I look forward to the next time, and we're going to end playing another one of your songs here. So you have a great day, and we will talk soon, Tommy.
All right, my friend. Take care. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.
Okay, brother. Bye-bye.
Without you, I'm so broken down, and the sky's cutting down on me. Cold drops, just like the world turns. Even the coldest hearts get burned. Since I've seen you now, I need to stay away. I don't want to hear your treble like when you blew my eardrums away. Yeah. And now I'm not so down, and the sky ain't going down on me. It's just like the world turns. Even the coldest hearts get burned. Hector Pineda. Of you sitting there with